see you, my friend. Shabbat Shalom, Barbara. Oh no. Yeah, that's great. Oh, I loved it. You're reading there. You can do it. Sure. Perfect.
Hello, good to see you. Hi. Hi, Rachel. Nice to meet you. All right. Where's the microphone? Hello, everyone. Welcome. For everyone online, we're going to get started in just a couple of moments. There's a lot of excitement going on in the temple right now, so we just need another couple of minutes. Thank you for understanding. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
And it is truly a delight to all be here. For the first time in 2 years, we have more people in our synagogue than we have online.
Yay!
And to be able to see, it's also the first time that during services, we have children and adults here together of all ages. What a blessing that is.
Amen.
So for everyone who is here in person, for everyone who's joining us on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook, let us mark this wonderful occasion of being together in community, celebrating a really important anniversary in Jewish history, and celebrating the beauty of Shabbat as community. We begin our service with Hine Matov, and tonight you might notice that We're not going to have slides. That's so that everyone can just see everyone on the screen. Everyone joining from home, we invite you to use your at-home prayer books or the flip books that are provided. There was a link in today's email to them. I can try to get them up as well. And you can join us on page 120, Hine Matov.
Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is to be together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. Hine matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. How good it is to be together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu
How good it is to all be together. And right now, we are going to invite up a pretty amazing group of people to light our Shabbat candles. We're going to light up we're going to invite up, sorry, I'm focusing on so many things. I'm trying to get the link over here. I'm trying to get this over there. Excuse me. We're going to invite up the entire sisterhood to rise, and some of the leaders to come up and lead us on page 120 with our candle lighting. Sisterhood, please rise if you're able. Actually, come up here, come up.
Absolutely.
Come all the way up
We
here
need some
so
of
that we
you up
can
here.
all
Come on,
light our
please.
candles.
Hi, Paulette. Oh, good. Sandy's coming to join you, too. Love you. And Linda's coming. Fantastic. Come on over here. Exactly. Start with this.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our own lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled lights, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Page 120. Good, light the candle. Somebody light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'chad l'nei shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
all so much for the blessings that you bring to our temple community. And as our sisterhood, as our sisterhood members go back to their seats, we continue with a blessing of Shahafiyanu, that we have reached this moment, not only the 100th anniversary of the first Bat Mitzvah, this moment that we can all be here present together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
There are many names for God, and a lot of them are masculine, but I think it's fitting that we welcome Shabbat with a feminine aspect of God, which is the Shekhinah, the God that dwells in our midst. And I'd like to read to you a liturgical poem written by my friend Alden Salavi entitled, Come, Beloved. If you listen, listen. If you listen, you will hear Shabbat descend from her distant place, gently clearing the air of the steady buzz of the mundane, gently inviting you to stillness, gently preparing the space for the arrival of holiness. If you listen, listen. If you listen, you will hear the arrival of luminous wonder, a radiance of glory that touches your heart so that love pulses through your veins. The gates of your soul burst open and you run through them skipping, singing, Maher Ahuv, hurry, beloved. How long since your hands touched mine? How long since your lips brushed against my tired eyes? How long since I rested in you? Kiva Moed, for the time has come to reunite. And tears of surrender shimmering with the taste of honey will pour through you like grace from God's ancient well. If you listen, listen.
Page
Page 128.
החמה מראש האילנות נסתלקה בואו ונצא לקראת שבת המלכה, הנה היא יורדת הקדושה הברוכה, ועם המלאכים צבא שלום ונוחה. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הקלה, שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום.
We continue on page 138, welcoming the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi, and we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעון וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi ברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, שיר דמרי, כבורברי עלייך נגלה לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה.
Please rise in body or in spirit.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה.
Now that we have greeted Shabbat, we also turn to greet one another, sending love around the room, and for all of those online, send messages to friends new and old. I know it's a hard thing for me to cut off, and I apologize. We'll have time to spend more time schmoozing and being with one another a little bit later. But now that we are greeting one another, we're prepared for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, this communal prayer, in which our prayer leader says the first line, and we respond as one community that, yes, we are ready to pray. Page 146, please continue to rise.
Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai ha-mevorach.
Please join with me. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai.
The bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light, What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם בלילה נגי יומם בלילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל
Page 152, we continue with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We turn to page 159 as we remember an incredible woman in Jewish history, a woman by the name of Miriam, who led the people in song. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Exalted, Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one that sang our history. With every thread and every strand she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. As Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
As we celebrate the miracles in our midst, we also recognize that there are times when we're in need of searching, times when we reach out to God for strength, for help, to be there with us. And that's what our Hashkivenu prayer is all about. We turn back to page 160 as we offer this evening prayer.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. We continue with Vishamru, page 162. Vishameru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. We rise for our Amidah on page 164. We rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai svatai tiftach, Adonai svatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai svatai tiftach, Adonai svatai tiftach, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Novlim Ve'rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Veneman Ata Leachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom, yehalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We take a few moments for our personal prayers and meditations, or with the prayers in our Siddur. Yehiyu lerato, imreifi, 180, vehegyon libi, lefanecha, Adonai turi, Adonai turi. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, God, Rock and Redeemer. Yehiyu leraton, imrefi, vehegyon libi, lefanecha, Adonai turi, Adonai Tonight, everyone, as we know, this is no ordinary Shabbat, because 100 years ago on this very date, a 12-year-old girl named Judith made history by becoming the very first Bat Mitzvah. One day before her rise to Jewish womanhood, her father, Rabbi Kaplan, explained what would happen. He picked out verses from her Chumash, her book form of the Torah, and told her that she would say the blessings, the Aliyah, as if she was reading from the Torah, and then she would read the verses that he had picked for her. Wise and learned as she was, this was no problem for young Judith. She was able to do that rather quickly. And that day, she woke up more excited than ever, walking alongside her parents, her 3 sisters, and her 2 grandmothers who were not so pleased with this arrangement. She was filled with excitement and also uncertainty. Now, the temple at this time, it was a brand new temple. They happened to be celebrating their centennial just as we are. And the temple at this time was held in a home in Upper Manhattan. Services were led from one small room, which was a makeshift dining room, where only the men would sit and where the service leaders would lead with the Torah and everything else. And behind this small room was a larger room in which people would sit mixed together, men and women. Now, Judith, of course, was used to sitting in that back room, but on this day, her father asked her to sit in the men's room. And she was feeling really, that's not what I meant, Gail, thanks a lot. In the front room, where all of the men were. Can't go anywhere. And she sat there apart from her entire family, not quite sure what to do with herself. And she waited as her father read from the Torah, as all of the different honors took place, and then finally, her father called her name, called Judith Kaplan. And she got up, walked to the front, said her blessings, chanted from her Chumash, and sat back down, and it was over quicker than she had even realized. This small moment, this really short gesture ended up changing so much because it created a spark of possibility. This was a time in which women didn't come up to the bima, in which women weren't given the same kind of opportunities as men within most synagogues. And here was Judith pushing the envelope, and her father, Rabbi Kaplan, pushing the envelope, which he did quite a lot of. And this small gesture was never actually intended to be the equal of a bar mitzvah. Rabbi Kaplan wanted to create this moment for his eldest daughter, just like he'd want to create this moment for his 3 other daughters. But he never meant those 2 things to be equal. And indeed, in our community, as we know, when we had the first bat mitzvah, women didn't lead on Saturday morning. They led on Friday night. They didn't have the exact same kind of service at the beginning. That's how it was. But it created an opportunity for openness, for possibility that maybe there was something else that could happen within our Jewish world. Maybe we can move a little closer to egalitarianism. What Judith sparked was this kind of desire from girls all over to start asking, hey, Judith did it, why can't I? And slowly, this idea of a bat mitzvah began to pick up. And it took some time. Judith's bat mitzvah was in 1922. It didn't really start to pick up until the 40s and even the 50s. And within the Reform movement, it definitely didn't pick up until the mid-50s at the earliest, because within the Reform movement, there actually was more of an emphasis at that time on confirmation and less on bar mitzvah. And so therefore, it didn't become really central until a little bit later. Well, in our temple, at Temple Beth, the very first bat mitzvah took place in 1960. And this morning, or this evening, I don't even know what time of day it is. I'm doing great. This evening, we have the opportunity for one of our earliest bat mitzvahs in our temple to come up and to be able to read from Torah, just like she did many years ago. Did you read from the Torah when you had your bat mitzvah? Oh, yes. Good. Wonderful. You didn't chant. Yeah. So we're just so blessed to be able to honor Barbara Reingold-Gerlicke, who will be reading from Torah in a few minutes. Today we will honor her, as we will honor all the leaders who set the stage for a more inclusive world. All of the women like me who would one day become rabbis have to thank these 12 and 13-year-old girls who dared to ask to be on the bima as well. So we are going to take our Torah out of the ark. I invite us to turn to page 364 and to please rise in body or in spirit.
Lechi lach to a place that I will show you. To a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing. Lechi page 366. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav, Lecha Adonai hagedula, והגבורה והתפארת, והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, ועמית נעשה לכל ראש.
You may be seated. So many props up here. Hold on. There we go. So I'd love to invite up Barbara, who's going to be chanting. We're actually going to be chanting Leviticus chapter 6, verses 1 to 6. And put that down. And for the honor of the Aliyah, I'd like to invite everyone who has become a Bat Mitzvah to stand up at this time and all join communally for the blessing. There you go. Kinder, what page?
368.
368 to join together in the Aliyah. Yeah, it's all right.
It's up there.
Right.
Yeah, the temple, we have step stools.
Are you
Okay,
good?
I got it.
Okay. Ready? Let us say our blessing together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, tzav el Aharon vet banav lemor, zot Torat haolah, hi haolah, al mokta, al hamizbeach, kol halayla ad haboker. Va'esh hamizbeach tukad bo, v'lavash hakohen midovad, umiknasei vad yilbash al bisaro, v'herim et hadeshen asher tochal ha'esh et ha'olah al hamizbeach, usamo etzel hamizbeach, ופשט את בגדיו, ולבש בגדים אחרים, והוציא את הדשן אל מחוץ למחנה, אל מקום טהור. והאש על המזבח תוקד בו לא תכבה, וביער עליך הכהן עצים בבוקר, וערך עליך העולה, והקטיר עליך חלבי הסלמים. אש תמיד תוקד על המזבח, לא תכבה.
And let's join together in our bracha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. Yasher koach to every one of you. And Barbara, you have been a teacher for our congregation in a lot of different ways, both by being one of the first women to become a Bat Mitzvah in our community, and also by literally being a teacher for so many of our students at our Torah school, including my daughter, who's blessed to have you right now. So it is truly, truly an honor to offer you this blessing, and to offer this blessing for all of the Bat Mitzvah pioneers of Temple Bethel. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, Miriam, Abigail, Ruth, and Esther, bless you who have risen today in honor of Torah, in honor of community, in honor of the Holy One, and in honor of her pioneering one of the first Bat Mitzvah, yours in 1961. On the 100th anniversary of the Bat Mitzvah, we are grateful for those brave women in our congregation and beyond who have initiated Bat Mitzvah in communities across North America for generations to come. We honor you today and celebrate your chutzpah and your commitment, and your willingness, like Judith Kaplan, to step forward as a Bat Mitzvah when there were no others in front of you to lead the way. May you be blessed with satisfaction as you see young girls, women, and people of all genders walk the path that you helped forge to take their place in Jewish life. May you find continued success in all of your labors and be granted health and joy with all of your sisters among the people of Israel and around the world. And together, let us all say, Amen. Yasher koach. And the first time you've chanted here as well. What a wonderful thing to do. Mazal tov. That is certainly worthy of applause, no doubt about it. So Barbara was among some of the first women to become a Bat Mitzvah. But as we know, there are a lot of firsts in our communities. There are incredible women who stepped up to lead in a number of different ways. From our very first sisterhood president, Helen Foster, back in 1943, to the first woman who served as the president of Temple Beth, which was Zona Belzer, to so many other incredible women who made it possible for people of all genders to truly feel embraced and equal within Temple life. And so for an Aliyah, I'd like to invite up our Marvin Belzer in honor of his mother, who is the first Temple president, who's a woman. There he is, wonderful. I'd like to invite up our current female Temple presidents who are amazing leaders in our community, Linda, Ruben, and Marla Schwartz. And I'd also like to invite up Linda Belzer, who is president of Sisterhood in our community. And as these four incredible people offer the blessing of Torah, I want everyone here who is a female leader in our community, anyone who is a past president of Sisterhood, of our Temple board, who is a committee chair who happens to be female or gender nonconforming, I invite you to rise at this time and offer this blessing along with them. You ready? Yeah. Oh, you can't pick it up. It's attached. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Adonai HaTorah.
Amen. Vezot Torat Hamincha Hakrev Ota B'nei Aharon Livnei Adonai El Pnei HaMizbeach Ve'rim Mimenu Be'kotzo Mezulat Hamincha Hamishamna Ve'et Kol Halevona Asher Al Hamachaneh V'iktir HaMizbeach Reach Nochoach Az Karata L'Adonai V'hi noteret Mimena Yochlu Aharon Huvanav Matzot Echol Makom Kadosh B'chatzer Ohel Mehod Yochluha. One, two, three.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'nu mikra emet v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For every one of you, I'd like to offer this blessing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless all who have risen today in honor of Torah, in honor of the Holy One, in honor of community, and in honor of the 100th anniversary of Bat Mitzvah. After Judith Kaplan rose as the first Bat Mitzvah, girls and women across North America organized for a greater participation in all areas of Jewish life. We celebrate all those pioneers in our synagogue who came forward like our ancestor Miriam to lead our community. We honor your leadership, your vision, and your commitment. May you be kept and held in blessing. May you continue to see the fruits of your labor in the blossoming of our community. And may you be granted health and kept from all harm, along with all of your siblings of the people of Israel and the world. And together, let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. Thank you all so very much. I'm glad you could be up here, Rachel. And with that, I invite you to rise one more time as we lift the Torah up. In just a moment. There we go. As we lift the Torah up for all to see.
Page 370. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, לפני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה, 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 וזאת התורה.
You may be seated. In the presence of the Torah, we offer blessings not only over incredible people in our community, but also for people who live and endure with chronic conditions and people who are in need of healing. As we think about all those who live with chronic conditions, I invite you to say the name of anyone for whom you'd like to offer this prayer out loud in a cacophony of voices. And for everyone who is on Zoom, I invite you to write names in the chat of anyone for whom you'd like to offer this prayer. As we hear all these people's names, let us offer this prayer for them. God of our mothers and fathers, watch over all who live with genetic disorders, life-threatening medical conditions, and chronic or degenerative diseases. Bless them with endurance and resilience, fortitude and hope, with opportunities to thrive and shine even as their conditions progress. Watch over them, their families and friends, our community, and all of humankind. We pray for the wisdom and insight to see each member of our community with clear eyes and an open heart, as another human being, a whole person with hopes and dreams, proud of who they are, striving to be their best selves, struggling with this life and loving it too, as we all do. Rock and shelter, grant us all the ability to see each other's humanity clearly, to cherish each other's individuality, to care deeply about one another, to mourn our losses and celebrate our victories together, so that we live, act, and pray as one community of care and blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who strengthens our steps. We also prepare to offer our Mishaberach prayer. And I invite, as I go around the room, for you to say aloud the name of anyone who is in need of more acute healing of mind, body, or spirit.
Robin Griggs and Carol Seifman, Elliot Bruder, Matt Wade, Liz Sherry.
For all the people whose names we've said aloud or written in the chat, for all the people whose names we hold silently in our hearts, we turn to page 371 for our Mishaberach prayer. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor habracha lehimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lekavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We wish for all of them a complete and speedy recovery. I love the sounds. Lev, it is so wonderful to hear your voice. Yeah. This is a blessing for sure. So I'd like to return right now to what took place on this bima just a few minutes ago, when we honored the incredible women of our community who helped make it the vibrant, inclusive place that it is. As we honored all those who have become Bat Mitzvah. And I want to let you know that if you are a woman who has not yet had the chance to become a Bat Mitzvah, there is an opportunity coming up that is made just for you. Coming up in the fall, we will actually be having an adult Bat Mitzvah class. And that's not just for women, it's for absolutely everyone of any gender. It is an opportunity to have this experience if we'd like to have it, or perhaps to have it for a second time. In fact, that is actually what Judith Kaplan ended up doing. So Judith Kaplan spoke a lot about the fact that at the age of 12, she had this short little thing, right? It happened so quickly, it was important, it was really important. But she didn't get to read from Torah, and that was kind of like something that was driving in her back, something that she needed to do something about. Now, there is a tradition that a biblical lifespan is 70, and so at the age of 82, girls became bat mitzvah at 12 in this tradition. So at the age of 82, Judith decided, I'm going to become a bat mitzvah again. And she had the ability to read from the Torah for the very first time in doing that. Judith understood that what she had done, even if it was a little bit of an afterthought, a little bit of a rush, it ended up changing the course of history, that it opened us up to these new possibilities of enrichment. And Judith would say that this new opportunity of becoming a bat mitzvah, about that experience, she said, let's not fool ourselves. This isn't my party after the service. It's a celebration of women's move into the heart of Jewish life. She understood that this was so much bigger than her And she wanted to celebrate not only her own ability to become a bat mitzvah, but the ability for so many people to follow after her. Now, we just celebrated the holiday of Purim. In some way, we're still in the middle of it because we get to celebrate it even more tomorrow. But in the story of Purim, we read a line from the Megillah that has been coming back to me time and time again. It's my favorite line in the Megillah, and probably the favorite line of many of you as well. And it's when Mordecai speaks to Esther and says, "And who knows, perhaps you attained this position for exactly this reason." Now, Judith Kaplan was in the right place at the right time. She had the right father in the right synagogue that would allow her to come up and become a bat mitzvah, and that is what enabled all of this to take place to begin with. And yet there are so many people who haven't had that opportunity. And I think that as we honor Judith and everything she's done, as we honor so many women who have been able to step up into these roles, who have been embraced by community, we also have an obligation in Judith's memory to think about the people who haven't yet felt comfortable in leadership positions within our community. And I want to share something that I learned this week. There is an incredible Rabbi Mira Rivera, and she works for the Jews of Color Alliance, bringing people together. And in 2019, there was the first Shabbaton of JOC, of Jews of Color, that came together. And she describes that when she gathered everyone together for a Torah service, she had the entire community offer the first blessing for the first Aliyah. And then she looked around the room at all these incredible leaders in the community who were Jews of color and said, "Okay, who would like to do the next Aliyah?" And they were completely quiet. And so she looked at one person who she knew who was an incredible leader, and she turned to her and said, "Would you like to do an Aliyah?" And this person answered saying, "Actually, I've never been asked to do one before. I've never become a bat mitzvah." And so she invited this woman up and said, "So do it right now." And they together, she said the blessing, and the entire congregation, the entire group erupted, sang hora, sang songs that this person had just become a bat mitzvah. And then she turned to the next person, and that person said the same thing, and the next person, and the next person, and the next person. None of the incredible leaders in the room had ever become bat mitzvah. And that is perhaps one of the most important things that we can do moving into the future, right? And do this memory to try to make sure that no one is excluded, that every single person in this community belongs, every single one. Whether you are a woman or a man or gender nonconforming, whether your skin is white or black or anywhere in between, you have a place right here on this bima. There is nothing more important. In the Torah portion that we heard about a little while ago, that Barbara so beautifully chanted from, Mizal Tov, she read about Eish Tamid. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar, not to go out. And Rashi points out that this verse is redundant, right? If it says that the fire on the altar isn't going to go out, why does it also have to say that it's a perpetual fire, that it's always there, right? That's redundant. And what Rashi says is it's there for a reason. It's there to remind us that fires don't just stay lit by themselves. It's there to remind us that we need to continue to work to create a more inclusive world, that Judith Kaplan, she might have started this revolution, but we have to keep it until every single person knows that they truly and fully belong. And so I want to let you know about a couple of things that Temple Beth is doing. For one, when we talk about Bat Mitzvah in our temple, we don't talk about B'nai Mitzvah anymore because that's gendered language. We talk about Bat Mitzvah, being in the mitzvah. We talk about the fact that every single one of us, men, women, anyone who's gender nonconforming, we're all a part of the process, so we're using more inclusive language. And we're also working quite a lot on DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, to try to make sure that this temple is a place where everyone feels completely welcome, that they belong and are part of the community. Today, we celebrate an incredible woman named Judith Kaplan, or Judith Kaplan Eisenberg, as she later became. And we also, in her memory, vow to do our part to create an even wider net, an even more inclusive space, so all of the wonderful human beings in this room and all of the wonderful human beings who haven't yet found their way into it can truly feel the embrace that Judith was trying to create for each of us. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Yes, that's right. We are going to rise once more on page 374. We return the Torah to the ark.
It's Chaim hi lamachazikim ba ketom feha meushar derafeha darfei noam vechol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva
Page 586, we continue with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו גילויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Toward the end of our service, we always take a moment to remember people who have died in recent days and weeks, and people who have died at this time in years past. Today, we are remembering Rami Temkin, Marla Schwartz's aunt, Max Calderon, Ray's brother, Clyde Wong, Julie Paul's brother. We are also observing the yahrzeits for Charles Abramson, Mary Alatriste, Clara Arnush, Rosa Astheimer, Zona Belzer, Joseph Berman, William Borden, Mary Botek, Robert Calatrello, Harry Chinowski, Arthur Cohen, Barbara Cohen, Max Cohn, Victor Cohn, Goldie Feingold, Clara Friedman, Louis Joseph Frisch, Dorothy Glasser, Arnold Grossman, Marty Herman, Denise Hoffman, Rosette Hoffnung, Arnold Hoffnung, Annie Jacobson, Robert Jerome, Sam Katzman, Jean Kay, Kurt Kent, Nellie Corman, Tobias Katzen, Oscar Laster, Dorothy Lewin, Myrtle Mandel, Murray Marcus, Harry Morgulin, James McCoy, Edmund Menace, Trey Menace, Tanya Meters, Tanya Myers, Doris Ortner, Dorothy Paul, Norman Penner, Sam Penner, Fanny Pierce, Esther Reisman, David Rinsky, Louis Rogoff, Lillian Rosenkrantz, Leonard Rubenfeld, Manuel Rudy, Hyman Saul, Charles Smeichler, Eldor Swiger, Baruch Sirota, Ruth Slutsky, Joan Braufman-Soffer, Philip Sorman, Jerry Sorkin, Louis Specht, Anna Stoll, Lori Ann Humaniski, Harold Youssef, Morris Wiener, Jack Young, and Martin Udell. In their memories and the memories of everyone else who we hold in our hearts, let us join together in rising as a community, supporting our mourners. As we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai yachon u'v'yom echon, u'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu, le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiram v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories all be for a blessing. And together we say, amen.
Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Shabbat shalom.
Yes, you may be seated for just one more minute. Just one more minute. I know I'm keeping Jews from food. That's very mean of me. I should know better. But I want to invite up Riva Skoll to tell us about some of the wonderful things that are coming up in our community. And I want to truly thank every single one of you who took part in tonight's service, and for Barbara Brickman and Marvin Belzer, who have been awesome greeters this evening. Woo-hoo. Thank you so very much. Thanks, Riva.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is my pleasure to be here tonight representing the Board of Directors on this very special Shabbat. I want to share a few announcements with you. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., please join Cantor Elon for virtual breakfast and story time. Then at 10 a.m. tomorrow, please join Cantor Elon and Pam Tarlow for our virtual meditation service. And tomorrow afternoon, beginning at 4:30, it is not too late to join the in-person for our community Purim party. We will be outdoors in the TBE parking lot celebrating Purim with youth and teen choir performances, carnival games, Purim spiel, delicious barbecue dinner, and ending with Havdalah. If you haven't made your reservation yet, not a problem. We'll take walk-in reservations at the door, $25 for adults and $10 for kids 13 and under. This Sunday afternoon, we have a special opportunity sponsored by our TBE Sisterhood with a private tour of the Japanese garden at Cal State Long Beach. We are carpooling from Temple. If you're interested in joining, please see Linda Belzer after services for all the information. Next Wednesday, March 23rd at noon, please make your reservation for our virtual Taos lecture with Professor Susan Aronoff, who happens to be Jessica Feldman's cousin. Professor Aronoff will discuss her experience as one of the original Women of the Wall. $18 for individuals and $36 for households. Payment and reservations go to Shoni in the finance office. Tickets are on sale now for next Thursday evening's concert at Collage in San Pedro with the wonderful Cantor Elon, Bob Remstein, and special guests. These talented musicians will present a career retrospective of Stephen Sondheim's work with some of the stories behind the songs. Tickets for the concert are only available through Collage. You will find the ticket link in your Tuesday News email. And we just found out that we are extending the collection time for medical supplies for the Ukraine. Next Tuesday and Friday, please drop off your donations during office hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and during our Shabbat service next Friday, March 25th. We are so grateful for the outpouring of love and support. During Oneg tonight, I'm excited to share that Sisterhood Gift Shop will be open. Please take a moment and peruse the wonderful selection of items that we have. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. And just another note about the concert at Collage, by the way. If you can't come in person, but you'd like to watch it from home, there is a virtual option on Eventbrite now. So you can buy tickets if there still are some, which I think there probably are just a few, or you can make a reservation to watch it virtually from home. And Rabbi, I thought I might have heard some rumbling from people about the upcoming Bat Mitzvah, adult Bat Mitzvah opportunity of people who are saying, but what if I don't read Hebrew?
Exactly. And we happen to have a plan in place for that. There is going to be, we just so happened, it's not like it was planned or anything. There is going to be an opportunity to learn from one of our other phenomenal teachers, Hadass, who teaches in our Torah school, but also has been teaching adults how to learn Hebrew for many years. And it's going to be an online class taking part starting right after Passover. So stay tuned for all the information about that if you are interested in learning to read Hebrew.
Yay.
And I also realized we forgot one really important thank you in the service.
Who?
Which of course is to Bob Remstein, who always adds so much to our prayer. Thank you, Bob.
Wow.
You got an applause. Look at that.
That's amazing. They're getting you ready for Thursday.
For everyone who is online, we're going to send you into breakout rooms. For all of you who are here, we have an oneg in the other room. Yay! So I want to let you know just a couple of things involving the oneg. We encourage you, if you happen to be someone who is not vaccinated, or if you feel comfortable or feel more comfortable eating outside, there are outside tables as well as inside tables. Wherever you'd like to be, we encourage you to go, manja, eat, enjoy, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Wow. Yasher Kochech. That was so beautifully chanted tonight. It was great. I know.
You know what? That's the time, though, right?